Hi everyone, this is Betsy Crider with BCreative Stamping. I'm so glad you're joining me. Happy March! I can't believe it's March. Time seems to be flying this year, 2024. All of a sudden we're into March. It's going a little fast, but I'm okay with that because I'm not a big winter fan. I like the spring so much better. So I'm excited for spring to be coming our way. I have daffodils that are out front that are already starting to they're about ready to bloom, actually. They've got the yellow. You can see the yellow popping through. My primroses are popping up as well. So spring is definitely on its way. It's one of my favorite seasons with all the spring flowers. So this is the second Wednesday of the month. I am premiering my video to show you what club cards we did this month in my in-person clubs. If you do place an order with me during the month, you will get a set of these cards. I don't send packets because sometimes you don't have the stuff, or it's just easier for me to get the cards done and then have finished cards that I can send out to you versus keeping some cards back that aren't finished. It's just office wise, organizational wise, it's just easier for me to finish them all up and then send out to you a set of cards if you place an order with me using my host code during the month of March. I don't actually have that host code here in front of me. Sorry. I'm still trying to figure out all the kinks on this, but if you place an order, don't worry about it. You can contact me for the host code. I also have it available on my business page on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, I am BCreative Stamping. It's BCREA. You can kind of see it there on my screen. BCreative Stamping. And then I'm on Facebook. And of course, here you're joining me on YouTube. I'm so happy to have you. Please remember to subscribe. That definitely helps me out. And that way you don't miss any of these videos. So I don't like for club cards to take super long or this video to be super long. So we're going to jump right in. If you have any questions, please put them into the chat when you're watching or send me a message. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. So I'm going to switch this over here a little bit. And these are the club cards we're going to make. We're making in March. So my plan is always to do 3 projects. Not always cards, but to do 3 projects in club each month. So the first one we're going to do is this adorable little cow. The cow bundle. I think I looked at it originally when it was released in the catalog and thought, oh, that's really cute. Do I really need it? And then the more I kept seeing it, it was like, yes, I really need it. So don't we all? Because that little cow is so adorable. And who doesn't love cow tails? My husband has actually never had one. And he went to eat one out of my container. And I said, no, don't eat those. I have those counted. Those are ready for all my club ladies. So don't eat any of those. But cowtails are like a caramel, it's like a caramel, and it's got a little bit of like a white filling in them. They are just they're very, very yummy. And these are minis. These are little minis. I got these at the Dollar Tree. Little packages of mini cowtails. Aren't they cute? So we're going to make this project first. So to get us started, here is the stamp set that we're using, Cutest Cows. And there's a punch that coordinates with this. Now the punch, I'm trying to find the right light for you to see that where it's not. So I've got too many lights going on here. So there's the cow punch, and you've got the little head, you've got the body, you've got some spots that you can add. I think this one is like this little top of his head, little fur on the top of his head or his hair. This one, I think, are horns that you can put on there. And then again, little spots that you could put on your cow. Now, there's only one body that actually will line up with the punch, and that is going to be this one. It's the one without the udders. If you use the body with the udders, you're going to need to fussy cut that, or you use the body that's sitting down, you're going to need to fussy cut that. So this one, the cow body here is going to match the punch. Now the 2 faces do match. Both of these faces line up into the head of the cow punch. The one that's on the side will not. So that one you would have to fussy cut as well if you were going to use that one. Okay, so for this one, I wanted to show you a little tip. Now these are called builder punches because you can do, it's a way of building something as you're going, right? So I can build a cow, it's a builder punch. So I wanted to show you how this kind of works. If I do, I don't always use it this way, usually because I'm just too much in a hurry and I'm too lazy to kind of do it. But if you wanted to, what you can do is create a mask, and I'm gonna give that, oh, this one's tight. There you go. I'm going to move that aside, and I want to create a mask. This is something that you can do with any of our builder punches, is create kind of like an outlined mask. So that if I take my little head and I line it up right there in the opening, okay, and then I take the body and I line that up in the opening as well. Okay, I try to get it as centered as possible. If I line those up right there, then what I can do is on my punch, on my block, I can actually put those together. Now that those stamps are together, when I go to stamp this, it's going to be perfectly lined up when I stamp it to go right into my punch. So it's saving you on paper. It saves you on paper to line it up this way, and then you can line it right up into your punch. Like I said, I'm a little on the lazy side. I don't always do that. Plus, I always have like scraps of paper. So for me, I just usually do it individually, but that's a user choice. But that's how a builder punch works, is you can kind of build your, like, put this in your stamp case, and then you always have it. Then all you have to do is line your stamps up and you're ready to go. For me, I always have strips of paper, so it's just easier for me to line them up individually. I'm using Memento here. I'm going to do the little head first, and then I'm going to do my little body. Okay. And then this aside for a second. I'm going to go ahead and color him before I punch. So I am using Petal Pink, and I'm using the Pecan Pie to color, and I'm going to use the dark Petal Pink, and I'm using that for his little nose. There we go. Nothing fancy. And I'm also doing it for the ears, right like that. For the Pecan Pie, I have a heck of a time trying to see the difference between this light and this dark. I'm going to do the light right here. We're going to make him a brown and white cow. You could do any kind of colors. I've seen so many cute ones. Lots of different colors. So we were having this debate at retreat this last month in February, on whether or not animals can be different colors than what they naturally would be. So, like, I'm all for coloring this pink and doing like a strawberry milk kind of cow. So I would color him completely pink, maybe with like pink spots or something like that. And I have friends who are like, absolutely not. Cows can only be what they normally would be. So coloring a cow or coloring any animal outside their typical color would be very difficult for them. I find it fun and offbeat, but they they struggle with that. So I'm just curious. You'll have to comment and let me know. Do you like to see your animals to be exactly the color they're meant to be in nature, or do you like seeing like a purple elephant? Are you good with that? I'm going to bring in the dark just to give his little crop top here, his little hair on the top of his head, just a little bit of a darker shade like that. All right, easy coloring, nothing's fancy. Now I can go ahead and line these up in my punch. Excuse me while I get this into a little bit of a better light so I can see what I'm doing. So there's my little head, and then my body is going to line up here. There we go. Whoops. Oh, punch it a little on the stiff side. Okay. So there is my little cow. Let me get rid of my scraps here for a second. All right. So there's my little cow. Now what I want to do is I want to start to build my little pouch. I'll bring that in again so you can see it. So I just have a piece of pecan pie cardstock, and I'm just folding this in half just to create my topper. You could score it if you wanted to. For those that know me, they know I don't like to score. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to the scoring part. Okay, and then I have these little plastic sleeves, and I got these at clearbags.com. I got them online, and they fit perfectly 3 of these little cowtails. So I'm going to go ahead and put my cowtails in here. I did 2. And then I did 1 more. Oops, come here. There we go. So there are my little cowtails. For this, what I had is I have the gingham paper, and this is the pecan pie gingham paper. And the reason I was doing that first is because this is actually going to get stapled on here. Now you can see the plastic is too long for what I have. So what I did was I wanted to kind of see where it was going to go. And I'm going to actually just cut this with my scissors. And just throw that little extra piece out. Now I'm going to bring this in, and this, I didn't glue it or anything in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to staple mine. Okay, so Stampin' Up! Used to have a stapler a long time ago, and I love this thing. I've not given it up. I use it a lot. Any stapler you have at home would work. And this one I'm going to staple down here towards the bottom in the center, just like that. So I have that little staple, and that's all that's holding my little packet together. But I wanted to cover up the staple, so I'm going to use this little piece of gingham paper just to cover that up on the front. And it gives it a little bit of color there, a little bit of white, break it up a little bit. Then I am using the Playing in the Rain dies. Playing in the Rain have the little, it has all the little critters. It's got the little bunny and the fox and the turtle, but I like the little grasses in this one. So I used some Granny Apple Green. I did some cutting, and I got these 2 grass pieces. Now you could do them where they're facing in towards my cow. I actually like them a little bit better when they're facing away from the cow, kind of like that. But it's a user choice. There's no right way or wrong way to do that. I'm going to add a little bit of glue and add one on this side. A little bit of glue on this one. Oops. Glue on that one. Okay. So I have my 2 pieces there. Okay, so I get the extra glue off my fingers. Then he is going to go down flat. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue here to put him on so he's flat down. And what I found is that the head kind of sets like when they made this stamp, they kind of gave you an idea of exactly where that head is going to line up for you. But you can kind of have it coming out here like he's got a little bit of a longer neck. You could have it coming down here where he's kind of got a little bit of a fatter neck. It's a user choice. I used a dimensional this, and instead of putting a dimensional on the back of that, I put one here because I knew that that's where my head was eventually going to go. It's just a matter of where I was going to line it up. Then I could get an idea, and that's going to go right there. Isn't that cute? Isn't he cute? So there you can kind of see him where he's looking out a little closer, a little bigger. There's no right way or wrong way. He's a cow. He's a cow. It's fine. Okay. Then the last thing I wanted was I thought it needed a little bit of a greeting on here, and I wasn't sure what to put on there. So there's some cute ones in the set, by the way. Milk it for all it's worth. Thank you. It's your special day. What's moo with you? So there's some cute ones. Holy cow would be a really cute one. I didn't feel like I left myself enough room for that. So I'm bringing in this Easter Bunny set, which is still available, I believe, online. I don't think it's in the catalog, but I believe it's available online. And I thought this little high here was perfect for that. So I'm going to pull that out. Need to find a block. Give me a second. Oh, as I reach to find one. There we go. And I am going to use the pecan pie ink for this. Pecan pie ink. And I'm going to stamp this right there. Cute. So there's my little high on there as well. Isn't that cute? Now, the last thing I did was I thought it's perfect as it is. You don't need anything else on there. But if everybody knows me, I love linen thread, and I just felt like it needed a little dressied up, but just a little bit more. So I'm going to add a little tiny bow right to his tail. So I'm just adding a little bow. I'm going to use a glue dot to attach this. Just a little thing. Trim it up. Little glue dot. Now this linen thread is really thin. There's not a large amount to it, so I don't need a huge glue dot. So what I do in this case is I tend to cut my glue dot in half because I don't need a large glue dot just to put on this little tiny little bit of linen thread. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue dot, put that right there on his tail. And then I'm going to add my little bow. And again, if I feel like that's too long, I can trim it up just a little bit more. Cute, right? I just thought it dressed it up just a little bit more. Isn't it cute? Right? What do you think? You like that one? Nice and easy, right? Not too much to it, just a little bit. And perfect in time for Easter. I thought this would be a really cute Easter gift. You could even use that bunny set if you didn't have the cow. You could use the bunny set, and especially if you've got the bunny punch that matches it, you could do the same thing with any kind of treat the inside. So there's one project done. Perfect. All right, so the second one we did this month was going to be, I stayed with the cow again, but I wanted to make a card with it. And here's my card. Isn't he cute? So I originally designed this card. I designed it with kind of like a gray background, and it was too dark for me. I'm not much of a bright person, but this one I just felt I really liked it with this bright. Now this DSP that you're seeing, this designer series paper here, is actually one of the new online exclusives. And I'll show you it in a little bit more detail here in a second, but it's the new Zinnia paper. And this is available as an online exclusive. It started here in March. And it is beautiful. So this is the paper that I'm using. There's the back of it so you can see it. But that's the paper I'm using for the front. And I'll show you that a little bit closer when we get to the third project. Okay, so to do this card, what I'm going to do, get rid of that here for a second. So I have my piece of designer series paper. I did do some die cutting with the deckled rectangles. I did a die cut, so I have a deckled rectangle frame that's going to go on the front like that. So that's the deckled rectangles. Those are a must-have for anybody, I think. We also have then an envelope, of course, and then the pieces that go for the inside. This is Poppy Parade, by the way. So I'm working with pumpkin pie and Poppy Parade. Lots of peas going on there. Okay, so I want to stamp. I'm going to get ready to stamp, and I'm going to stamp my little cow. So I'm going to bring in my memento again, and I'm going to stamp his little body. Okay. Now he's going to be sitting up quite a bit. I'm going to have some grass going in there, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp him here towards the bottom, but about 1/4 of an inch maybe up. Maybe about right there. Okay. Then what I can do is I can stamp his head because he's kind of looking off to the side. And I can line the head up because you want to look at where the black is ending there and then look at his head and then be able to line them up just like that. Right? Easy. And then I'm going to add in a little chicken because we have to have a little chicken going along with him. So I'm going to add my little rooster right there. And he needs a little tiny chick to go with him. Right about there. So they're all about the same level. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the greeting as well since I have the memento out. And I'm using It's Your Special Day. I'm going to stamp this up towards the top. Perfect. All right. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to do my grass, and I'm going to do some coloring, okay? So the grass in here, I'm going to bring in my light granny apple green, and I want to get some grass colored in. So I'm going to use the brush tip, and I'm just going to run this kind of around as if he's sitting in the grass, right? So I'm just coloring, nothing special, just kind of swiping it across the page to give me some grass. See that? Easy. Then what I want to do is I actually do want to stamp some grass going on there. And I'm going to bring in that little piece of scrap paper that I have from when I stamped my earlier cow. And what I want to do is I'm going to add some grass right there behind the rooster. But I want a little bit of grass in between the two of them. So I'm going to cover up the little chick. And I'm only using part of the stamp. You see how I'm kind of like going almost like this, only getting like a little bit of it so that I get just a couple blades like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to cover up his little feet, get a couple little blades there, and then I can come off to the end and add a couple blades there. See how that worked? Easy, right? Just to look like they're sitting in a field. I'm going to color in my little chicken here. So I'm using Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to color in my little guy. And then I'm also going to color in the big rooster. Color in his little tail feathers. Okay, so I'm using the light daffodil first. Go ahead and color in their beaks as well. Then I'm going to come back with the dark daffodil, and I'm going to color in the rooster's head to just give him two variations of color here. And again, this is that whole animal thing. You could make it any color you want. I'm just kind of guessing on colors. And I'm using also the Poppy Parade. So I'm going to bring in the dark Poppy Parade. And I'm going to color his little, what do they call this at the top of their head? I don't have chickens, so I don't know. I'm not versed in the terminology when it comes to them. I want to say it's like a crown, but I don't think that's right. Somebody will have to help me out here. Now, you could leave him just like that. He's perfect. But what I wanted to do was just give him a little bit more flair. He is a rooster after all. So we're going to give him a little tips of red on the tail feathers that we've got going on here. So we're going to tip some red on there. And then right there on the tip of his wing as well, just to give him a little extra flair. There you go. Cute, right? For my cow, I am using, again, I'm going to bring in the Petal Pink. And I'm going to color in his little nose. Nose and mouth with the Petal Pink. And I'm also going to do, again, those little ears. Okay. And I am using Pebbled Path. I love this gray. This Pebbled Path gray. I'm going to move that out of my way. Pebbled Path gray. I'm using the light marker, and I'm going to color in the tail Actually, you know what? I'd use the dark now that I'm thinking about it. I use the dark on him, almost like black. It's a black, but not quite black. It's a very pretty gray, I think. Nice charcoal gray. Oh, quick reminder, this is a good time to talk about it because Pebble Path is an in color. Now, Pebble Path, Wild Wheat, Moody Mauve, Boho Blue, and Copper Clay are going to be sticking around. Those will stick around for another year yet. But we actually are getting ready to retire some of the in colors. So Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Sweet Sorbet are all in colors that are going to be retiring. The new catalog, believe it or not, is going to be coming very soon. The new annual catalog will be coming in May. And those, when they release they'll release the retiring list in April. And what's the first thing to sell out? In colors. In color re-inkers, in color pads, in color paper, in color ribbon. All of that usually is the first to sell out, especially because people want to stock up on those in colors before they're gone. So make sure that you grab a hold of those. Now is a great time to get those while they're still in stock. All right, so I'm going to color this little tuft at the top of his head. So there are my dark Pebble Path pieces, and this is why I remembered I used the light, because I wanted to color in his little horns, and I'm using the light Pebble Path to color in his little horns. Isn't he cute? He's super cute. All right, so there is my front piece, and this is going to go on here. And it wasn't hard, right? This is not a very hard card. Neither of these projects are hard. They just take a little bit of time with the coloring, but not too bad. I'm gonna put my piece of designer series paper on the front. Look how gorgeous that paper is. That Zinnia paper is just beautiful. I'm gonna put this on the front. Now, I want to put this on, but I thought it needed a little bit of sparkle or shine. And do you see these gold little frills right here? You see those? So this, a friend of mine gave me this idea. I think she saw it online somewhere, and I was like, this is genius. So this ribbon is from the, it's one of the online exclusives that came out, I think, during Christmas, but it's still available on the online store. It is an online exclusive. It's a red with a gold. Here you go. It's a red with a gold. All right, there you go. But if you flip it over, you can see the gold threads that are running through the ribbon. And what I did was I wanted those gold threads. So I'm going to kind of like fold back. And what will happen is they'll like spray out for me. And I'm going to grab a hold of it. And all this whole one side, you can see it sliding, right? And I'm pulling these gold threads out of this one side of the ribbon. You see it? Look at that. Isn't that the coolest thing? I love that. So now I have all of these little gold threads that I can use. Whoops, what happened? There we go. All of these are all my gold threads then that I can use on my project. So I am going to right in the center use a little bit of like Stampin' Seal to kind of help hold these down. And I'm going to actually add a couple layers of it here because I'm going to spread this out a little bit, because I don't want it all clumped together. There we go. That looks good. And that's just going to hold those little pieces where I want them to be. See that? And then this is going to go on with, and this is actually like one piece you could get 2 cards out of here, because there's 2 sides to those polka dots and 2 sides of the gold trim coming down it. So you can get 2 pieces, 2 cards out of one piece. I'm going to add some dimensionals to this to go on the front. And the nice thing is wherever that seal was, I don't need to worry about it because it's going to get covered up. So here's my card front. Now, what I want to do is just kind of trim off those little extras. So I'm just going to give it a little haircut. I'm just going to use my ribbon scissors and just kind of give those a little haircut right there. And you can decide how long or short you want to have them. I'm just giving it a little haircut. And there's all my little pieces. Perfect. Isn't that cute? It just adds a little detail to it, right? It just gives it a little bit of detail. All right, and then the last thing I have here on this one is I wanted to put on some, I like these little brass butterflies for this because they're out on the field, out on the farm. We're going to add a couple little butterflies that are flying by. And I'm going to add a little one over here. Right? Look how cute that is. So the brass butterflies are perfect for this. The last thing you're going to do with this one, and I'm not going to waste your time on this one because I think you know how to do this now that I've showed you. But what you're going to do is I did some little chicks for the inside and also for my envelope. So I did the same process with the marker. I did my granny apple green marker. I colored it in, added some little grass, and then I put my little ducks, my little chicks in there so that you can see them walking across. Isn't that cute? So there is the second club project for this month. I just love it. I just think he's so cute. So that is the cow bundle. So then what I wanted to move to, I'm going to get rid of this ink pad here quickly. Then the next thing I want to do is I do want to show you a couple of the online exclusives that were just released this month because they are very, very pretty. And we're going to use one of them here in a second. So let me bring back in that Zinnia paper. So this is the Zinnia paper and it is very bright. So like the colors in this are Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Flirty Flamingo, Highland Heather, Lemon Lime Twist, Lemon Lolly, Melon Mambo, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Pumpkin Pie, and Real Red. So there are a lot of really great colors in this. So let me pull some of these out. I've used quite a bit of it for my club cards this month, but you'll get an idea. So here's, look at that one. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And here's a bright one with the greens. And then here's one with all of the beautiful zinnias on it. And then the backs are nice because they're just these patterns that are make it so easy for your cards. This petal pink. I love this purple. It's just really pretty. Lots of really bright. So this is the Zinnia paper, which coordinates with the Zinnia set. And this is the Zinnia set. Words fail to express gratitude. Thank you so much. Beautiful flowers that you can do. Sending flowers and thinking of you. It does come with a die set. I'm not going to open it up. You kind of get the idea. It die cuts this and these. Okay, so there's a die set that goes with it. There also online is one of the new ones is the Magnolia Mood. This, I've been seeing some gorgeous cards with this. Gorgeous stamping and coloring with this Magnolia. It is so pretty. This was just something I was playing with the other day, and I had it just kind of stuck down inside my card just to say, oh, I need to do something with that. So I just had it in there playing. And then also this one has dies that coordinate with it as well. And it's kind of nice because it does like this, the one you just saw, it has like this detail die. So yes, you have your dies that cut out your images, but then you have this die like this one that cuts this out. See it? So it's cutting out this kind of a magnolia for you versus doing all the stamping and die cutting of that. So that's really neat feature of these dies. So there's that one that is also an online exclusive, but two of my, I love both of these, but the two that I really liked were their two greeting sets that just came out. There's other things. There's a coffee, there's a latte one. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the online exclusives because the online exclusive offerings are going to be more and more. Like they're going to be doing, I think it was like close to 30 products were going to be released with the online exclusives, which is great because it just gives us that something new and something fresh every couple of months in between when catalogs are being released, that you just get to find some new stuff and get re-energized with some new things. These two sets were a must-have for me. The Sweetly Scripted, which we're going to use here on my card. I love this hand-drawn look. And it's got lots of nice greetings in it. Save the Date is one that you should always kind of hold on to in your back pocket if you're ever doing invitations for anything. Speedy recovery, a million thanks. Happy birthday, congrats, congratulations, and of course, happy anniversary. So this is a great one. We're going to use that one here in a second. This one hit home for me. Comforting thoughts. As a cancer survivor, this one means something to me, and this is one I don't think I'll ever get rid of, because I think I know way too many friends who have cancer or have survived cancer or are continuing to warrior and battle through. And this set I think is a really good one. Cancer sucks. It just does. But we're here, and we can make it through. We can fight through this. We're here for you. Healing, peace, and rest. I wish I could make this better. Wishing you comfort. Hope this is a feeling better kind of day. Thinking of you, praying for you, hoping with you. There is no good card for this. I do have lots of love to give. I don't have all the right words to say. There's so much in this set that I just think really kind of, you always need these kind of cards, and that's what we do. Card making is sending out love and thoughts and a little bit of yourself to someone when you're making a card. And this one, I just love it. So this one was a must-have for me. But we're going to use this Sweetly Scripted here for a second, and I'm going to bring in this third project we're doing for club. So when I originally designed this, I saw somebody else doing this, and I thought, oh, I like this, but I'm going to switch it up just a little bit tonight. But here is the paper. So the paper, the Zinnia paper, is actually 12 by 12, and it's got it actually kind of comes like this, right? So there's an area of white down the middle, and then the zinnias are kind of coming out from either end, or it might go like that. Actually, I think it might go like that, where the zinnias are kind of coming out from the ends of the paper, and then you've got a piece of white down the middle. And all I did is cut it in half, kind of trim it up a little bit to get these card fronts. There's nothing to this. There's no die cutting. There's nothing. It's just the designer paper letting it do the work for you, and adding a little greeting at the top. Happy birthday in this case. I added a little bit of paper to the envelope and to the inside, and of course then the envelope to match it. So let me show you what I did here, and I'll show you how I kind of flipped this up a little bit. So I've got some lemon lime twist. I'm using all kinds of brights here. All my people are going to be like, what the heck is going on? I'm using lemon lime twist. I'm using blackberry bliss. How much do you love these colors together? I mean, goodness gracious, is that yummy. And then I've got my designer series paper here that is trimmed and ready to go. So this is actually good. I don't need to do anything with it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these two pieces together. My designer paper and my blackberry bliss. Right. That, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this. Actually, I think I did dimensionals, but I'm going to do this one flat because I'm going to do the other piece with dimensionals now that I think about it. We stamp it on the fly a little bit here. Now I could have stamped my greeting across that, so you can kind of see how that goes, right? But I'm going to do it a little differently. In this case, I went ahead and I cut a 1-inch piece, 1 inch by 3 3/4 to go here, and then I'm going to layer that up right here over the front because I kind of like that a little bit better. So I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to stamp with some, I think I'm going to stamp with Blackberry Bliss if I didn't already pull it. I did. It's on my desk somewhere. I just need to put my hands on it. Because I don't see it up there. If I pull it down? Yeah, I must have. Because it's not on my... You know how there's things on your desk that you just kind of lose? I found it. Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my happy birthday. The nice thing about this too is you could make it any greeting you wanted to with these flowers. All right, and then I'm going to line up my happy birthday there in the center. You could line it up to the side if you wanted to, whatever way you want to do it. I'm just going to center mine so that I have my happy birthday right there. Get rid of that very juicy ink pad before I put my fingers in it. I'm going to put these two pieces together. This card is so cute and so fast. So I have a little 1/8 of an inch border on either side. I'm going to let that set up for a second here. I'm going to bring in my envelope. I love this trick with the envelope, having everything kind of match. So I'm going to put my designer paper on. You could use the purple if you wanted to. I like the zinnias on there. So I'm going to bring in my liquid glue again. And I'm just adding some liquid glue around the edge of my envelope. Don't really need it in the center. I'm just going to put my designer paper right up against that fold of the flap. You could fold it closed just to kind of make sure that it's hitting the top there. You can see that. Okay, and then I'm going to set that aside to let that dry as well for a second. And while I'm going, I'm just going to go ahead and add my little strip of designer paper to my inside. Just so it all kind of coordinates together. And then this can go on my piece of Blackberry Bliss for the inside. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh. Blackberry Bliss is, I think, one of my favorite colors. I just love how the richness of it. And I'm really surprised at how much I like it with the lemon lime twist. I did not see those two colors going together, but look at them. They are so pretty. This one, I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals on this to pop this up. And then one more there. And this is going to go right down here towards the bottom. I think I like that just a little bit better. Tell me, which one do you like better? Do you like it with the words just stamped right on the paper? Or do you like it with this extra little layer right there? Tell me which one you like better. I'm going to bring in my scissors and I'm now going to trim the back of my envelope here. The flap. Easy, right? This is a great thing. If you are like me and you have a lot of designer series paper, just adding this little flare to the back of the envelope uses up a good amount of paper. It's a great way to use up paper and then still have your card just kind of like really pop and match to look together, right? All right, so then the last thing I have here, or I have some gems that I want to put on here. And these are new. They're the Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. But I do believe, at least the last time I looked, they were on the not orderable list. I think they were out of stock, but they're scheduled to come back in. And there's two different shades of purple on this. There's like a light, a medium, and then almost like the Blackberry Bliss kind of look. More like a Highland Heather, a Gorgeous Grape, and a Blackberry Bliss. I'm just guessing on that. Those are the colors I think it is. And I'm going to add some of the little blackberry here. I'm going to add this one. Maybe I can do this one there. Maybe do this one over here. And then maybe add another one up there like that. What do you think? Cute? You like it? So like I said, I'm curious to see what you think, which one you kind of like better. I like them both. I just like this one is a little easier, especially if you don't have a lot of space at the top. It might cut off, which is what happened to me on this one. So I think this one just makes the greeting pop just a little bit more. That's it. So those are the 3 club projects. So let me bring those back in. So there's this one, and there is this one, and then there is this one. So if you place an order with me in the month of March, and it's a $30 minimum order, you can either contact me and I can place it for you, or we could do it online. I will send you a set of these projects. So contact me if you have any questions. We got in at like 45 minutes, which is good. I always like try to keep my club projects down, my club project video down to an hour. I don't like to go less than an hour. I don't like to go too long with these. I do have event-wise, clubs, of course, are every month, the first Monday, the first Tuesday, the first Wednesday of every month. This video posts on the second Wednesday of the month. And then I have Stamp It Your Way, which is running right now, which is available from the 1st to the 10th for sign up. And then we post a video for that towards the end of the month, usually like the 4th Wednesday of the month. So Stamp It Your Way is using the Poetic Expressions suite. The cards are beautiful. I can actually show you quickly here if you would like to see those. These are my two. I don't have Mary Ellen's yet, but these are my two cards that you're doing for Stamp It Your Way. So here is, let me bring this back. So here's one of them. It's a shaker card. Isn't that pretty? And then here's my other card. I just love that hummingbird. Look how pretty. With a little bit of Wink of Stella right there on the throat. It's so pretty. So these are my two cards. These are two of the cards of the four that you would be making for Stamp It Your Way. Stamp It Your Way is $35. You get enough to do 8 cards. There's 4 designs. You do 2 of each. We include $20, a minimum of $20 worth of product in with it. So you're getting a half a pack of the designer series paper. You're getting a half a pack of the adhesive strips to be able to make your shaker card plus more. And then you're also getting those little champagne dots that go inside your shaker card, and we're using them as little embellishments in all kinds of places. So that's Stamp It Your Way. That is for March. And then also mark your calendar. If you are local, I am holding a Stamp-a-Stack on April 12th. April 12th will be a Stamp-a-Stack over in State College. So mark your calendar for that. And I'll be opening up registration for that very soon. All right, everybody. Have a great March. Have a great spring. And I will see you in April. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.